What's going on, and welcome back to another YouTube video. We have a special guest with us today. I'm actually at his place. We have Caleb right here. I've talked about him before in my videos. Yas, another M4. And we are here today to finally make the GT4 air duct vents that I had installed on the front bumper when the car was at Samuel's Auto Body, getting all the paintwork done for the hood and whatnot installed. So we're finally here today, me and Caleb, and we're finally gonna make them functional. So I'm super excited for that. And as you guys can see, super convenient. Caleb has quick jacks here at his house. So we're able to lift the car up and work on it very easy. I don't have to be at the shop to actually do this job. And fun fact, Caleb has already done this, so he knows what he's doing. So he's actually gonna be walking me through the process of how to do it. I'll show you guys, these are his right here. Now, what's interesting about this is that Caleb actually inserted these pins right here into his GT4 air ducts that he put in on his front bumper. I didn't choose to go with that option. I chose to go with a little bit of a cleaner option. As you guys can see right here, I don't have those two little pins here in the corners. And that was by choice. Caleb does track his car a lot, so it makes sense why he would put those riveting points right there on both ends.
I hit a lot of shit.
And he, like he says, he hits a lot of stuff. So, you know, he wants to make sure that they stay in place and that they don't move. But I'm going to try to do my best to record everything. I'm going to be working on the car while he's working on the car. We're going to try to kill two birds, you know, with one stone, and kind of show you guys just how simple this mod can be and the benefits of this mod for your F80, M3, or M4 to help keep the rotors and pads and brake calipers cooler while you're going around the track. So we're about to get started. Caleb has a nice bumper stand over here that we can throw the front bumper on once we get that off. And all you guys will really need to do this job is you'll need these, what are these, like aluminum fittings?
Yeah, we got them from airplane supply company. They're like 10, 12 bucks a pop.
Right, yeah, fairly cheap. Nothing crazy. We got them from, like he said, an airplane supply company, aircraft supply company. You'll need those, and you'll need about, what, 10, 20 feet of hose?
About 10 feet.
Yeah, about 10 feet of hose, and then we'll explain to you guys why you need about 10 feet of hose to do this job.
It's high temp.
And high temp, yes, correct. Like he said, it's high temp hose. You want to make sure you get high temp hose. I'll make sure I link in the description down below for you guys all the parts that you guys will need to do this job. If you already have the GT4 air ducts on your vehicle and they're not already functional, and whatever way you made them functional. But we're going to show you guys today how we plan on making them functional. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into that right now. All right, so we've successfully taken off both the front wheels, and we've also removed the, what were these, T30s?
Those are T30s with two T25s on the ends.
There you go. So two T25s here on the ends, and then the middle ones are going to be T30s. And like I said, we removed both front wheels already. So the next step is going to be removing the 8 mils here for the front portion of the fender well liner, and then also removing the 8 mils underneath the front bumper on this side and on the other side in order to successfully remove off the front bumper. Once the front bumper is off, guys, we'll update you from there. Thank you. All right, guys, so I'm now underneath the vehicle. And as you guys could tell, I was taking out the 8 millimeters that are right here at the front portion of the front bumper that go along the entire way. Now I've removed those 8 mils. I also removed the pork chops that sit underneath right here on both sides. Got those over there. So now everything on this bottom end has been taken off. Now all that's left is just the two 8 millimeters. I don't know if you guys can see them, that are right up there. And that holds the front bumper into the actual fender on both sides. So once we remove those two 8 mils here and the two 8 mils on the other side, the front bumper will come off. All right, guys, so we are now unboxing the rest of the hose, taking it out of all the packaging. And we do have the front bumper removed. I just want to notate or point out this cool little light that Caleb has under here. It's like a, I don't even know what to call it. What do you even call it?
Illuminator.
Illuminator.
Turn off with IG.
Get off Instagram.
Yeah.
There you go. It's called an illuminator, and pretty much it's flat. So like if you're ever working underneath your car and you don't have enough light.
Oh, and it hooks onto your hood too. It has latches, so it hooks up here onto the hood.
Oh wow, well, there you go.
Yeah. And you
So
can
it's
run it over and it won't break.
you can run over, it won't break. Well, this is definitely a nifty little thing to have here, a light source anyway, because I mean it's super bright. You can see everything underneath the car, and like Caleb said, you can latch it up to the hood, and it'll work up there as well.
Bring it for track days. You can like put it onto the battery for the power supply, and you can be anywhere as long as you have battery power. You're good.
Perfect. So what we're gonna do now, guys, is we're gonna take the hose that we just finished unboxing, and we're gonna start routing it through. And the plan is to route it from the other side over here through this portion of the cutout right here where the front bumper is. This is exactly where the GT4 air ducts are. So he's gonna push it through, I'm gonna pull it through, and then we're gonna mock everything up, make sure everything looks good. And we're gonna do the same thing for both sides. And then I'll update you guys after that.
Keep it oval, tuck it close to the frame rail, and we're gonna tie it to the subframe.
Right.
All right? Just gonna keep it out of harm's way. Let's the tire move and get clearance without it getting in the way. And we're gonna let the suspension travel without binding. Because we're gonna need to be able to fully turn full clock. So what we do is we tuck it along the rail and travel up the arm. So we're gonna be putting it right here.
Right.
All right, so next thing, we'll take off our heat shield, which pretty straightforward. Literally 2 bolts for the caliper. Pull the rotor off, 3 bolts for the shield, and then we drill the shield and rivet on the back.
Okay.
Cool. So what we're doing here is drilling 3 holes in order to rivet this to the heat shield. Before we do that, I have to find a place to mount it on the heat shield. So we walk back over and see where we're going to be mounting. Go back to the mounting location. This is going to pretty much go right here, but it's actually more like behind the hub. So we're going to mount it 2 wide and 1 there. So we're going to find a flat spot. The reason you don't want it so much on the rotor and more the hub is where you want to keep all the heat, because on a vaned rotor, as it spins, it's an air pump. Air gets pulled out through the vanes, right? So you want to bring in air through the center, that way it can cool off the entire rotor. That's kind of the idea.
All right, guys, so as you just saw with the brake shield, the dust shield that was off the vehicle, that was the driver's side one. We took it off, we cut out the holes that were needed in order to fit the metal plate, which is now right back there. And we mocked everything up. and then we used metal rivets in order to hold it to the back of the dust shield itself. So now that everything has been put back together, the rotor is back on, the caliper is back on, everything's been tightened down. This whole side right here is complete, other than the fact that we just need to cut the hose, put it to the back of the fitting that we just added to the dust shield, and then tighten her down with some clamps right here. Once we do that, that'll pretty much be it for this side. It's gonna be the exact same process for the other side. So we're taking that side apart right now, and we're getting everything ready to do that side, and then I'll fill you guys in once we get that done. All right, guys, so this next portion of the video that you guys are about to see was actually filmed the next day after I had left Caleb's place that night. We had been working on the car right around until about 12:30 at night, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to work the next day, but the passenger side ended up giving us a little more trouble than what we had anticipated, trying to fit that high temp hose through the opening where the frame rail was. And just trying to get it through there. It was super tight, but we ended up managing to get it all the way through. We routed everything, we measured everything, and everything came out fine. Then when we were wrapping everything up and putting everything back together, we ran into the issue of the high temp hose having so much tension, because through the high temp hose that we had used, there was metal rings that kind of went in like a spiral. Just to keep the tension on the hose so it doesn't flop around and wiggle all over the place while you're going high speeds. It had so much tension that when we put the front bumper back on and we inserted the ducts through the actual hose itself, when we pushed the front bumper on into place, the hose was pushing against the air ducts, and mine are on by just 3M. So it actually pushed the air ducts out of the front bumper, because we didn't use any means of securing the hose to the duct itself, because the hose had that tension. So obviously, as we compress the bumper where the duct cutout is onto where the cutout of the hose is, the hose would just stay around the actual air duct itself, and it wouldn't move because of the tension that the hose has. So this was the next day at work. I had removed the front bumper, taken everything off, removed the air ducts from the front bumper. And then as you guys can see right over here, this is about how much hose was sticking out on both sides from out of the frame rail. And that's why it was pushing and causing so much tension. So I knew I had to remeasure and make adjustments by cutting the hose. So once I made my adjustments, I put everything back together. And as you can see, I used a zip tie because I noticed that the hose was still applying a little bit of pressure to the air ducts themselves. So I used the zip tie in order to pull that tension away from the air ducts themselves, and it actually worked out pretty great. And then as you guys just saw, I put everything back together. I 3M'd everything, and then I put some tape over it just for my journey home, just to make sure that the air ducts wouldn't fall out while I was driving home on the I-4. And all these leaves and dirt and grime that I'm showing you guys that's on the ground actually came from being built up on top of my oil cooler and on my heat exchangers. So I just took the time to blow all that out, get that all out of there so that everything could breathe a lot better. And that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. All in all, it was a very fun DIY to do, to measure everything, to mock up everything, put it all together and actually see it work. It was a lot of fun. Huge shout out to Caleb. Again, that's Yas, another M4 on Instagram, for coming in clutch with knowing all the measurements and already doing this to his car. So it just made it that much easier to do it to my car. So again, huge shout out to you, Caleb. Thanks, buddy. You came in clutch. And the cool part is that the air ducts are actually functional now, and you guys will get the chance to see just how well they work for me, because I just recently had my first track day with the M3 at the firm located here in, I believe, Waldo, Florida. But we'll leave that for the next video, guys. Also want to say huge thank you to all of our supporters. We finally reached 500 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and the numbers keep climbing. So me and Jamal are very grateful for that, guys. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for supporting us. And if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a comment down below. Give us a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think of this DIY. This was honestly something that me and Caleb just came up with on the fly, just trying to figure out a way to keep our front brakes a lot cooler when going around the track, when we were hot lapping and things like that. And it actually all came together, so that was really cool to see you know, not only his car have it, but now my car have it as well. So leave a comment down below, guys, if you like this video. If you're interested in doing it, reach out to me on Instagram. Like I said, I'm gonna link everything in the description down below that you guys will need. And thank you guys again for 500 subscribers. We have a lot more to come, a lot more in store. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.